Here's a question I'm guessing some of you are probably sick of hearing. What are you going to do next? Yeah, it's a tricky one. It doesn't matter what your definition of next is, whether that's you're about to graduate high school and next is, are you going to go to college or are you going to start working? Are you going to join the military? Whatever it may be. If you're in college, next is, okay, where are you going to find a job? Are you going to stay in your field of study? Are you going to move across the country to stay away from your family? Or are you going to move back home? Whatever your circumstances are, next is a wide open question. It can be a little daunting sometimes. For me, my path has been a little bit different. I just turned 51 last week, and I just now kind of figured out what I want to do with my life. However, I couldn't have been a public speaker much sooner in my life, in my opinion. Maybe I could have figured it out, but the way I look at it, I needed to put in some time and log some miles before I really had the right to tell other people what to do, right? I pursued my professional racquetball career having left college to do so because I have a specific window of time for my athletic career. I did that from 24 to 30, and then I retired. What next? Well, I wasn't sure. I really didn't have a backup plan when I finally quit playing racquetball. I was burnt to a crisp. I really should have quit the year before, but I just didn't know what else to do. I had worked so long and so hard to achieve that, I didn't see myself as anything else. Mistake number one, right? But once I figured things out and got a job and started down a path, it led me to one thing and then to another and then to another. And pretty soon here I am, right? I have been working in different jobs, mostly in sales, from age 30 to age 50, 51 now, and been different industries, different types of services or products that I've sold. Some of it's been transactional, some of it's been long-term sales cycles, whatever. I didn't know. And so the answer to what next is, I don't know. I'll find a job, I'll pay the bills, and I'll figure it out. And that's kind of how I've approached things. Is it the safest plan? Maybe. I mean, I'm certainly not committing to one thing, such as being an architect and going to school and achieving that degree and getting a job as an architect, and then 5 years later go, God, I hate this. I'm so tired of this job. I don't want to go to work anymore. Now what do I do? All my eggs were in that basket. By staying in something neutral like sales, I could go from industry to industry. I could easily slip into account management and those other types of jobs as well. So safe for me was doing something that has a lot of open opportunities across a variety of industries. I didn't have a what next. I didn't have an answer to what's next. So I figured it out on the way. Now for me, what next is I want to develop and really grow my public speaking business and be able to do that on the side of my day job. I don't really want the pressure of having to book gigs to pay the bills. That's not what I want out of that job. I want to be a public speaker where I can volunteer to do it for nonprofit organizations, for example, but go to a corporation and get paid doing the same talk. I want to pick and choose who I want to work with. I want the luxury of having a day job that pays the bills and going a whole month or 3, if unfortunately necessary, not booking a single gig, and it doesn't matter. I'm still paying my mortgage. I'm still got everything covered, and I still love doing the public speaking. That was not the answer to what's next for me at age 18 or 25 or 30 when I retired from pro racquetball. I didn't know. About 4 years ago, I finally figured out that, hey, this is something I would really love to do, and I started pursuing it. But I never gave up my day job. I do very well at sales, and there's no reason to leave what I would consider easy money to try to throw myself into a gig that I would start from scratch, hope to build up, and eventually mimic the type of money that I'm making today in my day job. I don't think that's a great approach. For most people, they want one thing to do, and they want to build a life around that. If that's your path, then great, go do that. But for a lot of us who don't know the answer to what's next, the best advice I can give you is play it safe by having a degree that covers a broad base and then having an opportunity to work within a bunch of different fields or a bunch of different industries with that same knowledge base, such as sales or business relations or account management, things like that. Generic job titles that can easily transfer from one industry to another are your safest play if you really don't know exactly what you're destined to do, so to speak, for your career. So I'll leave you with that thought. It's not for everybody. Some people have a really straight line approach to where they want to be and what they want to do, and that's great. But for a lot of us, what next? It may take you years before you ever can answer that question. So in the meantime, aim wide and give yourself the best chance for some level of success that way until you figure out what you really want to do with your life. As always, I wish you luck in your endeavors.